here tonight, back finally with a ongoing Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition campaign titled Beneath the Banner's Shadow. This game takes place in a homebrew world of mine known as Rostveen, particularly in the kingdom of Vykaril, which is very heavily based on Arthurian legend and English and Germanic folklore. So, this is going to be session number 54, titled The Sword in the Stone. Yeah, this has been an incredible journey so far. We are entering year 8, 9. We're on 2 hands, for those of us who count with our hands. And I think we might, maybe, be getting close to the end. Ish. Which is good, because y'all are running out of levels. So we're very soon going to be out of runway. So, no, but it's been an incredible story so far, and I cannot wait to get back to this. It's been several months since we have gotten the chance to sit down and play, so I am very, very thankful that it worked out for all of us to be here, even if not all of us are feeling super great. So, what else? Oh, thank you very much to both Rachel Ayers and to Augusto for the artwork that you will see a lot throughout this game. Rachel designed the majority of the house shields that you will see on the overlay, and then whenever I use them on my screen. And then Augusto is the artist that Steve commissioned to draw all these incredible character portraits that you see also on our overlay. It's really cool. I've never had a game that had bespoke art before, so it's a really, really cool feeling. So, speaking of cool feelings, I'm going to give the same warning that I give in the beginning of all of my games, and that is if foul language and mature subject matter are a problem for you, then exeunt. Stage left. Stage right even. Yeah, get out of here. But if those things don't bother you, then stick around. You're going to hear some music that was made by our former 5th player, Josh. You'll hear Shield Sister at the break, and then at the end of the game, you will hear Swordbreaker, which are really cool. I've never had a game that had bespoke music before, so this game is special in a lot of ways. And one of the ways that this game is so special are the people that play in it. So I'm going to pass things over to them so that they can introduce themselves, tell you where you might be able to find them on the internet, plug any kind of projects that they might have going on, and then I think we're going to tell some stories and maybe roll some dice. So we're going to start with Baron.
Hey everybody, I'm Baron. I hang out here quite a bit, more than most, less than I'd like, but I digress. I get to be here and have been for like the last many years. I get to play Masakatord, the Angorian paladin who has slain various warlords with the help of his friends, who was wed. I have accolades. We've done things. I'm ready to do more.
Hopefully there will be plenty of things for you to do. Speaking of things to do, next up is Karen.
I'm not sure I like that segue.
I'm not sure I do either.
Well, hello everyone. I'm Mathuran Gabrain. Yeah, what's new? Nothing. You can find me over here. Mini terrain domain. Those are the places I hang out now. Otherwise, you're not gonna find me. It has been a hot minute since we played this, and I cannot wait to get back into it and, roleplay with you lovely folks. I'm so excited. And with that, I'll just pass it on because, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while, but like I said, I've got a lead in that hopefully will bring everybody back up to speed, so I should have it covered, I hope. If not, ask questions. I just rewatched snippets of the last episode to remind myself of where we were. So it's pretty fresh in my mind, thankfully. Speaking of fresh in my mind, next up is Eli.
That's right. Feeling fresh, feeling sassy. It's me. I'm Eli. Good to be back. I barely understand what time or space are at this point because my child is a year old and somehow I was present for every day of that and still befuddled by the thing. I think what that means is that like almost half of her life played out in the course of our hiatus. And that's another reason why I don't understand what time and space mean. It's weird. But anyway, excited to be here. Very glad to be back. Did I say my name is Eli? Did I say I'm playing Sir John Lightenor, a knight of the realm, and bad dad, but I'm learning, and I have strange snippets of insight, and canonically, I'm 10 feet wide, and that's what I know.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, it's really, really crazy whenever you put it into that context. That half of your kid's life has been the time that we had off from this game. That's incredible.
Dude, the time that we've been playing this game is over half of my girlfriend's youngest son's life, which is insane.
It's also true. Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Insane.
I think when we started playing on the channel, my son was 7 and he's now 17. So because we just did the 10-year anniversary last fall, so yeah, it's bonkers.
That's just disrespectful. Jack needs to stop that.
He's got a mustache now, dude.
Yeah, he does. And
just
a
like
soul
you.
patch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm in all of you.
Yeah, he's a good kid. He's a good kid. He pops in here every once in a while. I'll see him. He'll pop in chat and say hi. So, it's a cool feeling. But speaking of cool feelings, last but certainly not least, Steve.
I'm not sure what that means either. Yeah, so I'm Steve. I'll be playing Dane, congested as I am, but I'll be here. I'm very glad to be back. A lot of good stuff has happened for a lot of people while we've been on break. A lot of really crappy stuff has happened also. So this will be the first game that we play that my dad doesn't watch.
Man. Ugh. Maybe he's watching, man.
But I am excited. I miss you guys so much. So let's have some fun and kill some witches or something.
Or something, man.
Or something.
Or something. Steve, if you are out there and you can't hear us, hey, bud. All right. So I think, without further ado, we can go ahead and get started. Though Lake Kelmium lies deeply within the heart of the kingdom, you felt as though you had traveled an entire world away from Vykaril. Your guide, Firne, had reluctantly led you to the Isle of the Lake, the fabled island known as Abiralath in the Elven tongue. Shrouded in mist and blight, you discovered a terrible wall of brambles surrounding your intended destination. Castle Angarin, once home to Valdor Gabrain, father of the once and future King Mathuran. 'Twas here that you sought to complete the next stanza of your prophetic quest, honed upon the stone from whence sword sprang. In your time since arriving, you had bested Sir Berdelac, one of the original knights of the Round Table, who barred your passage and revealed his oath to protect Mathuran's mother. Despite your intensifying hunger, you navigated the labyrinthine wall of thorns, and crossed paths with several fae in various states of unrest. Marnefa, a druid with his misplaced anger, tried to lay blame for this famine at your feet. Gaia Filarsen struggled to breathe new life into this infected place, denying the futility of his failure in the face of more powerful magic. And Amavol, desperate for sustenance, pleaded to strike a bargain, a story, for meat, only to be put to the sword for her unnerving insistence. You have wandered through this maze of brambles for a difficult amount of time to discern. You've seen a lot of strange creatures, come across a couple of strange folk. You have run into several places where you have been torn up and had to turn around. And the entire time, you've been kind of lost in this mist-covered maze of thorns. Eventually, however, you seem to have found the exit. You can see the castle, Angaren, on the hill, not far away. But first, you've come across another building. This one looks like a hut, constructed of logs, pieces of this bramble wall, stones, and moss, rope, are all kind of strung together or interlaced with one another to form what looks like a domicile. And you can see the blue of woad kind of in runic patterns on several of the surfaces that seem to kind of lead into the interior of this place. So, welcome back. What would you like to do? Anybody?
Horde is gonna go investigate this hut.
Are you sure? 'Cause every time we look in huts, we find witches.
It would have to be a really small witch.
All right.
I mean, if that's the adjective attached to the witch, we should be all right. I'll look inside.
Ari, Sir John, what are the two of you doing?
I'm going to back up, Sir Tord.
I'm just going to back up.
Reasonable.
Okay. Fair enough. Tord, you approach the edge of this abode. Sword in hand? Empty-handed?
Ready to draw,
Ready to
But-
draw.
calm.
Okay.
Does it seem like someone's living here? In this?
I mean, there's definitely been like recent traffic that has come and gone through the threshold here. And you can smell what smells like smoke, and it doesn't smell stale or old.
Yeah, we're just gonna go for it.
Okay. Yeah, you move up to the edge of where this building is, and you kind of like push aside the leather like curtain that's draped over the front, and you are immediately surprised by how large of a space it actually is on the inside.
Classic.
Still seems to be kind of like timber constructed, kind of loose interwoven plant material, and there's stuff hanging all over the place from the rafters, dried herbs and desiccated like animal parts, bones, things that have been kind of like lashed together into strange like designs. Definitely signs of someone who practices witchcraft. This place it's not filthy, but there's definitely like moss and algae and like small like woodland creatures and bugs that are just running amok in here.
I duck my head back out of this leather curtain and I turn around to Dane. Are you a gambling man, Dane? You should.
What?
It's witches.
Yeah. Are they home?
Hard to say.
Why is it hard to say? They're either in there or they're not.
There was like critters.
Yeah?
I mean, critters don't usually come out when there's people.
What?
Listen, why don't you take a look? You're our resident witch expert.
I don't know if that's true, but okay. Sure. I mean, worst that happens is a tent falls on me.
I think you'll be all right.
Yeah, so I'll walk over there and pull the curtain back and look inside, and if not immediately seeing someone, I'll just step inside.
Much the same as I just described for Tord. You see what very much looks like a quintessential witch's hut. And stooped near the fire on the other side of the room, which is probably a good 50 to 60 feet from where you stand currently.
I look in, look out, look in.
Yeah, no, it's definitely that kind of a situation.
Yeah.
But you can see a figure hunched over really far. It looks like maybe they're like stoking the fire. You're pretty sure it's a elderly woman, kind of with like a shawl on.
Excuse me. Good afternoon, evening, morning. I don't know anymore.
I'm not accepting visitors. Go away.
Oh. Okay. Could you tell me where away is? Because I don't know where here is.
Sounds like a problem that you should solve.
Oh. Hmm. I'll turn back out. Two things. Toward she was standing right by the fire. Like right there.
That was a person.
Mm. Secondly, she says she's not accepting visitors.
I mean, that's a clear boundary. We should go.
But go where? Right, that's kind of the thing, is this whole island has been us being lost and wandering and starving, and I mean, at least we understand witches. you know.
Well, if we need to ask for directions and things go really south, we've killed witches before.
That's what this meant. So just directions to the castle, like how do we I'm sorry, ma'am, I don't mean to intrude, and I know you're not accepting visitors, and are you a full-time resident on this island?
She exhales heavily, kind of somehow stooping even further over. Then she rights herself as much as she can and turns, and you can see that it is an older woman, but there are other sets of arms that are like reaching out from inside of her robes. And as she is like stepping towards you, you can hear like all of these bells that she has sewn like onto her clothing are just like softly tinkling, like as she is walking over towards you. A permanent resident, you ask?
Well, man, that's what I asked. Yeah,
You are rather young.
hmm?
Are you hungry, child?
Oh, I'd be lying if I said no, but I have this thing with witches and ovens.
Oh, you
Yeah,
think I'm a witch, do you?
I
What
look
gave it
around
away?
at, well, this, you just seem
Hmm.
very handy
You're one to
at it.
talk. She like looks down at your hand that is a sword.
Well, I used to be twice as handy as this.
Hmm.
I think, look, we're just trying to get to the castle so we can get the original stone that it was made on in from.
To what end? It does not matter.
Oh no, ma'am, it matters a great deal.
Say you
I mean,
reforge the sword, as you were told to do. Then what?
Seems like a real good start.
yeah,
Does it? The sword was forged once before. This is all played out before. Heroes, villains, kings, wizards. And look where we
right.
are now. Right back. As if on some great circle. Inescapable. You think it won't happen again just because you find a replacement for this blade?
I I I think it could happen again, but I don't think in the history of the circle it's ever been us though.
And what makes you different? Those that came before you were not special?
Um, look, I'm not gonna deny how special anybody else was or is and what they did or didn't do. I can't speak for characters from stories and legends. And believe me, if anyone could, it would be me. But I can speak for us, and maybe we don't succeed. Maybe we end up back here again. but we have to try.
Why? Why must we try? Would your efforts not be spent better elsewhere? Doing other things?
Not mine. No, ma'am.
Another man who has decided to put himself at the center of some grand tale, convinced himself of his importance and how unique he is in his time. I've heard this before, boy.
I didn't put myself here. And I've spent the better part of these last years trying not to be here.
Then you're not very good at what you tried to do, are you?
Well, turns out the only thing I'm good at is being here. And rolling barrels.
And your friend, the fifth, who was prophesized to also complete this journey, Eddard, what of him? Is he no longer special? Is he no longer chosen?
Eddard is very special.
So the prophecy was wrong about him. Perhaps it was also wrong about the rest of you.
And perhaps, but perhaps that means that it doesn't repeat this time.
I tire. This is why I do not accept company. You want your directions? Your castle is thus. She kind of like turns her head a little in the direction of the hill. Go, do your brave deeds. Get killed again. See if I care.
Can I roll an insight check to see if she does care?
Certainly.
Because it seems like she cares. That one.
She does not care, in fact.
Fucking don't give a shit, dude.
No one has ever cared less, actually.
Tord's actually still like, I still don't see anybody here, Dane.
Dude, who are you talking to?
All right. Did anybody else roll insight?
Sure. Dane can do that.
You don't need
wonderfully.
to. If you'd like to, you can.
Well, I got a 20 total, not a natural, but
Okay. All right.
I also rolled, but apparently I'm too far away to even care. I can't see her, so.
Fair enough.
she's not an elf. I don't care.
I
Her
think
not
whenever
caring has caused me not to care.
I think whenever Dane went inside and Sir John realized that there were two people inside, he was like, okay, cool. So he's actually just keeping a watch outside the door.
All right. Ari's standing several yards back away from the entrance to the hut.
Sir John's keeping an eye on Ari.
And I'm keeping an eye on everything else. Apparently not on the woman, though, because, I can only hear her voice and it sounded sincere. So
As you're scanning, every time you meet eyes with me, I just do a quick,
It's clear that Sir John's a little bit worked up about the fact that there might be a witch nearby. He's like pacing.
Who, me? I'm very chill. What do you mean?
Sharpening his sword again. So yeah. Tord has no idea of the sincerity of this woman. He can't get a read on her. I almost imagine he's like squinting his eyes in her direction, like very studiously trying to like examine her, and there's just nothing coming to him. It's like you're like at the poker table and you've realized you're out of your depth. Dane, on the other hand, you can definitely tell that this woman has a vested interest in what is going on here. A lot of her manner seems to be almost like she's trying to convince herself that this is the way she feels.
Well, I appreciate the directions.
She kind of like waves dismissively. More fools to get yourselves killed. Your bodies to lie and rot on my island.
I hope not. Is there,
Doesn't matter, it's all going to be gone. Soon enough, I suppose.
what's going to be gone? Is there something we could do for you? Before
For
we went
me?
to the castle?
Why would you do anything for me?
Why wouldn't we?
I'm a witch, remember?
So is my little sister, I suppose.
Oh. She
And my dead
was.
wife.
They called my mom a witch also.
We're pretty witch adjacent, actually.
Yes, you have had several interactions with sisters of mine. So why recoil whenever you realized I was a witch?
Oh, no, it was the hands, not the witch.
Oh,
Also, to tie
yes.
back into that oven trauma thing.
Hmm. There are those who practice the arts who are of a darker nature, it is true. There are also times when you have had to accept the darkness in your deeds, is there not?
Oh, very much so.
For certain. In the same way that some people are afraid of spiders, I'm not afraid of spiders at all. But ovens, can't explain. Can, but
But we wouldn't discredit your need for help simply based off of being a witch or the extra hands. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep bringing that up, but it's
The
kind of
hands
a sore point for me.
The hands of starvation never quit grasping. They are always present. I should like for you to hear a tale. Tale of kindness.
I
Or
like stories.
perhaps the lack thereof. The Lineath tree has been the source of power in Iberilath since before time was written. Invertresne is its companion. Not long ago, a warrior came from the shore and wed Virtdresne. He built the castle Engarin here, closing the tree in, and became very powerful in the lands of men. Each warlord who surrendered their sword to him over time never left the castle. They say his hunger for conquest could never be sated. One day, a woman who had been done wrong by him came before his court, but was cruelly turned away. She returned thrice more, but was treated with increasing ire. And on her final visit, the king ordered his guards to seize her. It was only then that she revealed herself as his bride queen. She drew his very own sword and cursed his kingdom, plunging the blade into his heart. However, as there was naught but stone in its place, he was transformed into stone himself. This tree I have mentioned to you, the Leneath tree, the source of power here in Abirlath, it is tainted by this king's greed, his wrath. Rid the castle of all of the cold iron. Free the tree. And I will be in your debt.
So there is something you need help with. Okay.
Yes, boy. If you wish to help, then perhaps you are smarter than he. Help me thusly, and I will give you what you need.
So, forgive me, I suppose. But you said that some of the other witches that we have had encounters with are your sisters. But I noticed that you're not immediately trying to kill us. So are you not on the same like wagon as they are on?
It is true. Sakawida brought me into her coven, and they are my sisters. But I no longer care what happens to this place. I no longer care what happens to me. It is all cursed. It is all ash and rot. I will die soon enough, and this place will die with me. And soon enough, your kingdom will crumble, a stone at a time. It matters not.
But why doesn't it matter? If it doesn't matter, if that's what you convince yourself of, then don't you become, not you, but in general, don't you become the reason that the stones crumble if no one cares? I mean, you obviously care about something, the tree, the evil king,
I cared.
us on some level, because you didn't just kill us.
It is true, I've cared once upon a time when I was younger and foolish. And what did
It's
it
hot,
get me?
hurt. That's what caring does. Caring opens you up to this immense amount of emotion and joy and pain. And that's something that I've had to deal with, and Tord's had to deal with, and Ari and Sir John. I think that might be why Eddard left, because he had the opportunity to seize that joy and step away from the pain. mean, he still cares about us and we still care about him, but he had an opportunity. But just because you've been disappointed and hurt doesn't mean you can't care anymore. Or that you shouldn't care anymore.
But when does that exhaust itself? When does that well run dry, young man? How long can you care? How long can you give of yourself without return before that reserve runs dry? And
Not
then
very
what?
long.
What happens then?
Well, then, for me, I turn to Tord or Ari or Sir John, and I borrow from their well of caring until I can get my own filled back up. But
And when you turn to one of the ones you've trusted, one of the ones that you have loved for long, and they do not help, they turn you away, they spit in your face, they betray
well,
you.
I can't speak specifically on the spit in the face or the betrayal part, but I mean, when it happened to me, I just loved Ari through it anyway. And we worked it out. And maybe that's not an option for you. I don't know. But what I'm saying is you can't just give up. Because if you can't get your replenishment from the person who betrays you, then seek it elsewhere.
I've run out of places to search. Is why I've ended up here.
And if you stay here, then you'll never find it. But the villages we've been to, the people who have regained hope, I mean, you should have seen the expression on Tord's family's faces. They don't have one face; they have a lot of faces. But what we did there, what Tord did there, that brought back hope. I think if you had seen that, even being a stranger, that may have been enough to help replenish your caring. I think that's why we do what we do.
I have seen events like these you have talked about before. I was there when Mathuran Gabrain was born. I was there when he was crowned king. I was there when he united the realms. When he began the Round Table. He selected knights from across his kingdom, regardless of appearance or their stance on political matters. It was perfect. He embraced the old ways and the new with open arms, and they mingled freely underneath him. It was heaven here on earth. And the moment he died, what do you think happened?
I think a bunch of whiny, petulant jackasses ruined it all.
Yes, the rot that was there the whole time, hiding under a gilded skin, burst free like a worm from an apple. The apple had been rotten the whole time. Spoiled from the inside. This is what I'm saying to you, young man. You don't understand. You feel you stand on the precipice of greatness, but it is all of it a ruse.
But for everything you know, that's where you're wrong. I don't feel like I stand on a precipice of greatness. I feel like I stand on the edge of a sword, on the blade turned sideways, and on one side is hope, and on the other side is disaster. And I have to walk that. We all have to walk that, even if it cuts us and we bleed. But that's what hope is. That's what caring is.
Do as you wish. As I said, I tire of company. If you manage to free the tree, maybe we can continue this conversation. Until then, I have nothing more to say on the matter.
How far away from me? I know she had walked towards me. How far away is she?
I would say maybe 20 feet or so by the time that she like turns around and starts heading back towards the fire.
Okay. Dane's gonna do a real stupid kid thing. I'm going to hug her.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. You throw your arms around her, and she staggers, not expecting this,
Yeah.
and kind of like leans against one of the tables that has all of these like alchemical ingredients, kind of like all ground up and powders and liquids. Stabilizes herself, and she just kind of stands there for a second. Release me.
I turn loose of her. We'll do our best.
She takes like several steps away from you, and she stops, almost like she's contemplating whether or not to say something. And then she, and she hobbles back over to where her fire is.
All right. Well, before I get turned into stew, I'm gonna walk up to Tord and look at him, shrug, and go out the flap.
I think Tord appears as if he has something to say, thinks better of it, and follows Dane.
Sir John, you see Dane exit the hut, shortly followed by Tord. Ari, from further away, you see the same.
How did it go in there?
She didn't kill us.
Good, good.
We've got work to do.
Did she tell us the way to the castle?
I gesture the same direction she did.
That way.
And what was the cost?
We need to save a tree.
Is it beset with the same corruption the rest of the island is?
I think in a manner of speaking, right, Tord? Kind of all stemming from what she was talking about.
Seems to be, yeah, that the corruption stems from an evil.
Mathuran Gabrain's dad was an asshole.
Yep.
like lied to people and betrayed them, and then, I mean, apparently even his own wife turned against him and tried to kill him, or did kill him, or something.
A shadow passes over Sir John's face, but all he says is, let us hope that sons are not judged by the measure of their fathers.
No, she seemed to have a really high opinion. Oh, you meant
What I have been thinking while out here is that this is the island from which the hand of the king pulled the sword by which he ruled the kingdom. Look at it. If cleansing the tree can help to push against this disgusting rot, then it's hardly a side errand to make sure that happens. Can we have any doubt that the realm suffers if this is the home of its heart?
no. I mean, the desperation is so bad here that even the witch has given up.
Desperation is the greatest enemy. Any other enemy can be overcome, but if you succumb to despair, the rest is worthless.
I think that's one of the smartest things you've ever said, Sir John.
Well, thank you. Broken hourglasses and all that. But no, if we can do some good for this land while we're here, then I say we make all haste to it.
I think also, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tord, the tree might be his wife.
I wanted to ask, but I thought better of it. It's hard to say.
The tree is
But
the
they're
mother
also-
of Mathuran Gabrain?
One?
I think maybe.
Yeah.
So you know how in the fairy tales elves have like favorite trees? I think this might just be that times
This is his real
lot.
favorite tree.
right. Or some sort of fey folk that's bonded to a tree, or turns into a tree, or
So what the witch actually told you was that the Linnaeath tree has been
Now,
the
hold
source
on.
of power
Don't clear this up.
in
we don't get that in real life.
I don't want any like JD Vance couch situations like unfolding in this like
If I'm-
castle
If I'm
here.
being really honest.
dendrophilia.
Tree huggers. Only more than hugging.
A little more, yeah.
It's a second date kind of situation, maybe.
Good Lord.
What she
What was really said?
what she said was the Linnaeath tree has been the source of power in Ibiralath since before time was written, and Virt Drisne is its companion. Virt Drisne is the mother of Mathuran Gabrain.
So the dryad of the tree is his mom.
Right. Okay, I was like, yeah, it's definitely a Fae. So, but still, the tree's his mom as far as Ford and Dane are concerned in the moment.
I mean, it's not wrong.
Not really.
Anyway,
It's a new meaning to morning wood.
Dane.
My bad.
Dang, the children.
You mean me?
I am the children.
Oh, you're the sword.
I'm the sword children.
We've been playing long enough. All of these things are true.
This is getting so strange.
All of these things are actually true.
Is her name Virt Drisne?
Virt Drisne.
Okay.
Pretty Drisney when you think about it.
Well, my brain just looked at it. It was like green something.
You're not far off. A lot of the names that I pull are from Old English and German.
So what she told us is Mathuran's mom tested his father, I suppose, and he failed miserably. So she killed him, or tried to, but when she stabbed him with his own sword, they got stuck in him because his heart was actually made out of stone, and so he turned into stone. But we have to
So
get rid of.
does that mean that the sword that Mathuran pulled out, was he actually pulled out the sword from his dead father? Is that what we're seeing now?
Maybe, but to make it even weirder, she said after we took care of helping the tree, that she could give us what we came here after, which would then imply that she has the stone, which implies that she has his heart, which is really weird. Or at least knows where it is.
It might be worth just going up to the tree.
But something about removing all the cold iron in the castle, right? Like, and that makes sense. If she's a fae, or fae like, the cold iron would be hurting her, or keeping her from being able to do.
Maybe worth seeing what this cold iron is protecting before we just get rid of it.
In case it's both sides.
We've been tricked before.
At least once per witch.
Yep.
But on top of that, she's exceptionally sad. The witch. I think she's actually tried to help people do this before, or something. I think it hurts her because she knew Mathuran's father and Mathuran. And so when everything fell apart and the world started to rot, Tord, I didn't think to ask her, but I bet that's when she stopped being whatever she was and started being what she is now.
Yeah.
So to the castle and to the tree.
I think that's the move.
All right. So you leave behind this strange hut and push forward towards this rocky outcropping rising up ahead of you, where you can see atop of it that there is a castle. It looks very similar to a lot of the castles that you have seen elsewhere throughout the kingdom. This one's a little older in design, but it's definitely out of place here in this like extremely fey realm. It's very obvious that this is almost like an eyesore on like an otherwise like beautiful like natural preserve, if you will. But it lies ahead all the same. You can see that there are birds that are in flight kind of above it, but other than that, there's not a lot of like animal activity. It's kind of eerily quiet as you approach this castle. You can see that the road eventually, what is left of it, as it kind of like gets further and further away from where the wilds grow, you can kind of see this paved, graveled road that starts to take switchbacks up the side of this incline. You can see it eventually looks like it crosses a drawbridge into the castle courtyard proper. Is there anything that you want to say or do before you actually cross into the grounds of the castle itself?
This would be so much more amazing if it weren't so terrible.
There's quite a disturbing aura around this place. There's no sounds of animals or birds or anything.
Okay. You approach the drawbridge, and you can see that though it's obviously been exposed to the elements for some time, that the timber that it's made from is incredibly thick, very strong Vykarilian oak, and it has been like treated with pitch at some point in its history. So that has definitely kept a lot of the wood from rotting. But then again, it has been abandoned at probably for a couple of 100 years would be your guess.
The drawbridge, is there like the moat around it, or like
So
how deep is it? Like how far
yeah,
down?
it's not a moat so much as it is kind of like this switchback, like raised in elevation, and now there's like a gorge between you. Like this castle was built almost like on a jut of rock that's kind of like pushed up from the land, and it's basically encompassing the entirety of that like butte, if you will.
So we're talking like
How
hundreds
far
of
down?
feet below?
Yeah, probably at least 120 feet down.
I should go first and find out if it's safe for you to cross. And with that, Ari will step out and start going across the drawbridge.
I think she
Okay.
was calling you fat, Tord.
Yeah, well, she had too many hands, so whatever.
Poor Tord. Ari, you step out onto this drawbridge, and you feel it like settle when you put your weight on it. You hear the chains that hold it kind of creak, groan a little, and then it stops.
I will walk out further, so I'm about halfway, I guess. I will stop, and I'd like to jump up and down a little bit because I'm one of the lighter of the folks, and I want to make sure it's okay for the others to come.
All right. Roll me an athletics or an acrobatics check, please.
I will do acrobatics. That is a 22.
Fantastic. As you kind of like start to really test the weight of this, one of the chains that's holding the side of this drawbridge, it snaps. And you can see as it breaks apart, like the link that breaks is just completely rusted. It looks like it must have had like some kind of like hairline crack in the iron at some point, and the entire inside of that small crack just widened over time and just completely and totally rusted out. And just this little bit of extra weight causes this link to snap. And as it does so, the portion of the chain that's connected to the drawbridge itself comes falling down, and it hits the side of the drawbridge and breaks like the first two beams that form that edge of the drawbridge. And when it does, the whole thing kind of like bounces under the impact. And when it comes back down, the top edge of the drawbridge that sits against the land that you have just like stepped off of, like it smashes down against that and breaks several pieces of the edge loose of this rotted wood. And there's probably 40% of the bridge still intact. Luckily, you managed to like tumble over to the left-hand side of the drawbridge and stay on the part that seems to be intact. But the rest of the drawbridge has basically kind of like fanned downwards, and is just kind of like loosely hanging by the banding that kind of goes across the planks.
Watch your step. It's a little bit brittle, I'd say. Is there enough room for them to cross over with what's remaining of the...
Yes, absolutely. It's going to take a little bit of careful steps in a few places, but it's definitely wide enough that you can cross on foot. You're thankful that they didn't bring their horses.
Yeah. I'm going to continue on then and get off the bridge now that we tested it and found out what's not safe. And then I'll wait there for the others. I'll be turning to look in case if I can do anything to help as they cross, that kind of thing.
Okay. The bridge is probably a good 60 feet long. So, when the others of you do intend to cross this bridge, I will need either an acrobatics or an athletics check from you, please. And feel free to cross in whatever order you wish.
Is there, like, once I'm across, actually, is there a way for like me to maybe shoot an arrow into a tree on the other side with like a small little rope, and then we can make a bigger rope from that to tie around so that there's a rope for them to walk, like hang on to when they're walking as well? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Again, it's only about 60 feet long, so I imagine that you've got rope that long. You can fashion some kind of like a small string or ribbon or whatnot to tie to the arrow first. Kind of shoot it back and then
some vines and stuff first, and
yeah, absolutely. It takes some doing, a little bit of time, but you can certainly secure that on both ends so that it's taut enough that it gives them something to hold on to. Sorry to interrupt, Baron. You were saying?
After Ari gets out of earshot, I turn to Dane. You were talking about Ari. I was still thinking about that witch. And I'm going to try and cross.
Okay. Athletics or acrobatics, please.
Looking for an athletics check.
I figured it might be.
29.
You can have advantage. Doesn't sound like you needed it. The rope would have given you.
Let's see. Yeah,
can he improve?
29 was the score.
29 stands. All right. Yeah. Effortlessly. Toward you're holding on to the rope just more or less just because it's there. But one foot in front of the other, you just kind of keep your eyes forward and not a big deal. Cross it like it was nothing.
So John says, so Dane, you first.
All right. Sure. I will. I guess also acrobatics. Let's see.
Mhm.
How does an 8? Oh, you said advantage.
Yeah, you
Good.
have advantage with the rope. Sorry.
8 does not sound great. Oh, how's about a 5 sound? So 8 total.
Okay.
It's hard to hold on to the rope with a sword hand.
True. Yeah. You're making your way out there, Dane. Unfortunately, it is on the left-hand side. I think the sword's on your left. Is that right? Your left hand? Yeah. That explains it. You're trying your best to like reach across your own body to like hold on to this rope with your right hand on the left-hand side of you. And at some point, you have to kind of like make your way over one of these like pieces of banding. And when you like step over, you have to let go of the rope for a moment. And when you do so, you step over, and on the edge of the plank that you step on, it's soft wood, and so it kind of gives way underneath your boot. And you reach out for the rope and realize that too much of your weight has already pulled away from it, and you can't grab it. So you reach out with the sword and try to like slap at the rope. You don't cut it, thankfully, but I mean, you hit it and it bounces off the rope, and you are starting to fall backwards.
So John, I'm going to activate Mornved Volan, my plate armor. I can cast Fly on myself once per long rest.
Beautiful. Okay.
And so I think like we see Ari kind of dance across. We see Sir Tord make it without issue. We see Dane get started and he has his trippy thing. And then Sir John just like leaps forward, and you can see. So I've got this golden kind of plated armor or whatever. And I'm also wearing the mantle that I got for being a champion at the tournament those many sessions ago. And the mantle, I imagine, looks like a Roman skirt, a bunch of strips that look like ties, you know, like neckties or whatever, but they're made out of leather and they're riveted. And I imagine it's like a half cape that sort of goes on his back. And he leans forward as if he's going to sprint onto this drawbridge. And that mantle kind of flares up behind him like they're little wings. And then you can see wind kind of like take the shape of these massive eagle wings using the mantle as a guide or whatever. And then the mantle flaps back down and the wind just shoots me straight forward like an arrow. And I just scoop Dane up into my arms and cradle him while I'm flying the rest of the way across the drawbridge.
All right. Let's find out how successful grabbing Dane is.
Yeah, what do you need?
I need a dexterity saving throw, please.
Dexterity. What about strength?
What about strength?
I got inspiration earlier, and I'm going to use that to take advantage on this.
Okay, absolutely.
All right, so I got an 18 total.
Beautiful. Fantastic. You do indeed manage to catch Dane. Dane, you're falling, and you see like your hand and your sword hand like flailing for this rope as it steadily gets further and further away from you. And then you realize you're seeing sky as you start to fall backwards. And then you realize you're seeing the underside of the drawbridge. You have completely fallen away and are like plummeting downward into this gorge. And then all of a sudden you see this flash of movement off to the side, and Sir John comes off of the edge of the receiving end from where this drawbridge was and comes soaring downwards and grabs you.
Whoa there, buddy.
You're flying?
Those dwarves at Trolloc, terribly thoughtful.
That's That's super, man. That's super.
Ha ha! It's the Vykarilian way.
Incredible. Fucking incredible. All right. So, John, you managed to successfully set Dane down on the other side. All four of you now safely across this treacherous drawbridge and inside the courtyard of the castle Angren. Where are you headed once you've gotten through the front gates?
Just gonna get out our handy dandy cold magnet.
The witch said that she had appeared to him as some other person and was requesting stuff from him. Probably food, knowing how much of a jackass this guy is. But and then in the last time that she appeared, that's when she took his sword and stabbed him with it. So maybe like the part of the castle where like the king would see people who were coming with requests, right? I mean, that would make sense as far as where he would be stabbed at. You know where that's at, right, Sir John?
Yeah, of course I do. The reception hall. And Sir John's kind of looking around, getting his bearings in this castle. It's only, you said it's been gone for 200 years, but Mathuran Gabrain, how long ago was he in history?
So about that time, he
200 or so
he
years.
reigned for about 100 years. So his father being, 100 years prior to him, and then it had been at least 50 since he had passed.
Okay, so we're talking like 150 years or so to get back to these times. Okay,
Yes,
that's like, this castle is still a baby. I would I would know the layout of this castle for sure.
Okay, so maybe we can get a roll.
Yeah, I've got insight and history. I don't know if either one of those makes
I think
sense.
history could work. Yeah,
Okay,
either
cool.
history or maybe even a survival if somebody wanted to attempt that.
I don't want to do survival, but somebody else can.
Yeah, history.
I can I can look for tree stuff with survival.
Mhm.
I got a whopping 9.
A big old 9. 9 times. So yeah, you're like, I've seen castles from this age before. They're all the same. And like you say that as you're like turning left through like an open archway, expecting like, that to be where the keep is located, or instead you have found yourself in like a farrier's yard, like a bunch of smiths and like where they would have kept the horses.
Well, this isn't the right place at all.
Dane and I are in a doorway. Sir John, it's this way. It's this way?
Oh yes. These Fey castles must be
Left
different.
at the Bailey.
I think maybe Mathuran Gabrain's father was left-handed, so everything's the other way.
Well,
You walk to the steps to the parapets, you've gone too far.
I'm left-handed though.
But chances are your grandfather's grandfather who built your castle was not.
That explains a lot.
I just look at Tord like,
Once you have gotten your bearings, you head deeper into the castle, and this takes a while. This is a sizable castle, and it has not been used in a very, very long time. There's a lot of like broken corridors and collapsed rooms, walls that have like fallen down, There's times where you have to kind of like double back and try a different direction, but eventually you find yourselves walking into the throne room of blackness, apparently. The throne room of Valdor Gabrain. You can see this extremely high dais that has been built 10, 15 feet off the floor. It has statues carved into the relief base of it that look like they're kind of like holding it up, like supporting it, holding it above the heads of everyone. Atop of this dais, there is a throne that has been carved and placed up here. It looks as though whoever built this very much leaned into the aggrandization of himself. And everywhere you look around this place are stone statues of people in various stages of rest is not the right word. Some of them have their hands kind of held up defensively. Some of them have their faces turned away. Some of them are, like on all fours on the ground. They definitely look like they died or became stone instantaneously, like as they were still reacting to whatever it was that caused it. In addition, there are swords that are pitted and rusted, driven all over the place, usually through them.
By them, you mean the statues?
The statues, correct. And one further thing, in addition to there being a lot of like plant life that looks like it's kind of got roots and stuff that have tried to reclaim parts of this and algae and things, there is also an enormous tree that is at the center of this room, almost eclipsed by where he's like placed this dais and throne. And this tree is rather large, but it looks sickly. Its branches are all kind of like drooping. Its color looks off. Its leaves, those that are present, are all wilted and shriveled. It definitely does not look like a healthy plant.
I get the feeling that the tree was here first, and then he thought himself so important that he built that in front of it.
And around it to show that he'd conquered it or something?
I mean,
That
that
it
was
was
his big
his?
drive, right? But can you imagine doing that, knowing that the tree's like the lifeline, the spiritual anchor to your wife or at least child's mother?
I don't think he cared.
Or maybe he didn't know.
Oh, he definitely knew. He probably didn't even really love her. He just wanted her for whatever power she represented on this island. I mean, look, when the tree thing got sick, the whole island starts falling apart. All right. So
Ari is going into the room a little bit, going up, especially up to one of the statues, I guess, one of the closest statues, and looking at the weapon that's like piercing it or, somehow impaling it, and just trying to see if that potentially is a cold iron weapon.
So yeah, how strong do you think Ari's Fey blood is?
Um, I mean, she is not Fae, but she is an elf, like a full-blooded elf. So
Correct. So, Fae being somewhat the ancestors of elves, how deeply do
yeah.
you think how close to your ancestors do you think Ari's bloodline is?
Hmm, hmm, hmm. I'm going to roll a die and find that out.
Dice? In this game?
92%.
Wow.
Dear God.
Do not speak the old magic to me, for I was there when it was written.
Explains a lot.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say that, like, when you walked into this throne room, Ari, it was almost like, well, for us as audience members, it's almost like you bit down on tinfoil and you have, like, metal fillings in your teeth. It's almost like that kind of, like, on your nerves, like something just literally reached out and, like, plucked one of your nerve endings.
Yeah, I think, Dane, because you were just turning to talk to her, and I think you noticed as she walks in and the shudder and the fact that she's probably like just kind of stopped in motion going into the room as she shudders, and you can see like almost pain across her face, and her eyes just like close before the foot falls onto the ground.
So I'll Dane will reach out and like sort of catch your elbow, like in the way you might if someone's about to stumble when they're walking. Are you okay?
And I think she just gasped like when you touch her, she's like that sound, and it's strong here, the feeling. I don't know if I can go in there.
I I can feel it. I can only imagine it's worse for you. This Dane actually has the Fey touched feet.
Oh, yeah, absolutely then. Yeah, you're definitely feeling the same kind of thing.
All right. Well, Tord, you're asking about our cold iron finder. Found it.
But it's everywhere.
You guys are like unable to cross the threshold, or you can go through. It's just uncomfortable.
Oh, for
Yeah,
me,
you're
it's
not
kind of like
prevented.
having my hand in hot water, really hot water.
Did we think it was the swords, like Ari said, or just the ambient?
Yeah, I think Sir John, like, while people have been discussing in before we had this moment with like the physical reactions and stuff, I was thinking that Sir John was looking around to try and find the cold iron. I think he's like the sword of the kingdom. Sir John wants to do what he can to cleanse the sword of the kingdom, And so I think he hears an opportunity to clear our cold iron, and that's pretty much the one track of his mind in this castle. So I think while people were kind of like chatting about the throne and the tree and stuff like that, he was just trying to spot cold iron in his field of vision.
Not difficult to do at all. It seems like the majority of the swords that you see here, if not maybe even all of them, appear to be made at least somewhat of cold iron. So moving over to even just the closest one, if you wish, you find it, and it looks like it has been stuck straight down through like the collarbone and into the upper torso of this particular statue, who's down on one knee and kind of has like his hands up, like grasping the blade. And he looks like he was probably maybe a half orc in life.
Okay. And I would imagine that everybody knows at least that cold iron is said to be effective against the Fae. But are any of the other properties of cold iron common knowledge, or would I need to have something special? Like, would I need to make a roll to know what the rest of cold iron's properties are?
So I mean, as far as I am aware, even the Fae's sensitivity to it or vulnerability to it is it's basically its only known property.
Okay, got it. Then I think Sir John, upon seeing that all of these swords are cold iron, I think he would just walk up, especially once he sees that his friends are having a bad reaction to this. I think he would walk up to the closest statue and just try to force the sword out of the stone.
All
Roll
right.
credits.
Roll an athletics check for me, please.
Okay, so let's see here. I got an 18.
Perfect. You grab a hold of this sword, realize that like this is like in here, and you kind of brace yourself, a little bit, put both hands on it, and you pull with all of your might, and there are sparks and smoke that kind of comes out from you, like forcing the edge of this steel out of this stone. And as you do so, the statue itself crumbles apart from the effort that you've had to exert to free this blade from it. And as you pull this blade out, there's like this ringing, like zing noise, and then the room goes quiet again.
So I think Sir John's immediate reaction, like the sword comes free, the stone starts to crumble in front of him, and he just immediately like assumes a defensive guard with the sword that he just pulled out. And when he sees that the stones are settled and aren't going to like rise up and attack him or something, I think he I don't think he just throws the sword down. I think he like sets it on the ground and then looks back at the others. I was like, well, Tord, perhaps you and I take care of this part.
I can still do stuff. How many people are stabbed by swords?
Dozens.
Dozens.
Tord will move into the room and begin assisting Sir John with this process of collecting swords.
I would like to get out a big old blanket, like a big blanket, and start putting the swords that they pile up onto the blanket to kind of cover them up a bit.
When I move over in this room, can I get to the tree?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not completely blocked.
When I get to the tree, I would like to channel divinity. I really don't have anything that I can do with it, but it seems like the cool name for what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
Just using the bond of my oath to the natural world and peace of the old and new ways. I'm going to put my hand on the tree and see if I can feel anything in regards to the spirit that relies on this tree for life or anything of that nature.
You reach your hand out and put your like the palm of your hand against the bark of this trunk, and you feel an overwhelming sense of sadness. Like a deep depression settles into like the middle of your chest. All of you hear a voice. Who goes there?
We are the sword of Vykaril Reforged.
I do not know this name.
It's a pleasure to meet you too. What might your name be?
My name is King. My name is Conqueror. I am Valdor Gabrain, the warlord who owns this castle. All of you see an incorporeal spirit appear in the air above the throne, dressed in an old style, ancient Vykarilian garb, dripping with jewels and armor, and a crown upon his balding head. The air that isn't moving in this room somehow seems to keep his hair and his beard and the hems of his garments floating almost as if in a constant breeze. Have you come to swear your fealty to me?
No, I can't say that we have.
Why then do you trespass in my domain?
Sir John, I like to imagine that the king spirit here is like turned around facing toward, and Sir John is behind him. And I think you hear the familiar shing of Sir John drawing his own sword from his own scabbard. And he says, "We are here because your son exceeded you in every way, and we come to clean you out."
My son? My son is a whelp. He still clings to his mother's breast. I am eternal.
Wrong. The memory of your son is something that the kingdom dearly clings to.
Impossible. How then do you explain my presence here?
It is corruption. It is rot. Look around you.
I see. My subjects bowed in subjugation, except for you. You refuse to bend your knee to your king.
I refuse to be frozen in the rictus of death by you.
Ford's gonna draw a sword.
Yeah, everybody come on, back me up, please.
Dane's gonna draw his. Wait, no, already got it.
Ari will draw her sword, yes.
All right then. Let's roll initiative.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we got here? Okay. Got a 17 from Ari. 14 from Dane and Tord. Both of you please roll a d6 for me. Two. John got a 5. 3. Okay, so Tord will go first, and then Dane. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then dude. Other dude. Okay. Ari, you're up first.
First off, how far away is he?
So this room's pretty sizable, and you did not enter it on purpose. So I think that you are probably about 40 feet away from him currently.
That's easy then. Okay. Um, 40 feet. I have a movement speed, and you said he was hanging in the air?
Yes, he's definitely like levitating in the middle of the arched ceiling area.
How far up?
The platform was about 15 feet off the ground. He's another probably 10 feet off, so about 25 feet.
But if I could get up to the platform, then he'd be like 10 feet above my head.
Yes.
Okay, so let's... Well, I guess we can try jumping and slicing. I have a movement speed of 55, so I am going to close the distance so that I am underneath him. And then as I am, like, I guess, reaching the very top of the platform, I am going to jump and attack him. First with, I guess, like... Yeah, it'll be kind of like 2 quick hits. One with the sword, and then one with the other hand as he's like probably parrying the sword or whatever, and kind of catching him with the backhand with the other hand. That is the plan, anyway.
All right. Roll your attacks.
Okay. Sword is a 23 to hit.
Okay. And this is a
then-
magical sword, yes?
I am trying to remember what I have.
Everything.
Oh
in
yeah,
ours
it
a
is.
magical
Yeah,
weapon.
yeah. It because I be monk. It became my weapon.
Ah,
So
okay.
yes, yeah. And then unarmed strike is a 24.
Will also hit.
Okay. Sorry, I'm taking a while because this has been a while since I've played this character.
And y'all are high level too, so.
Yeah, there's so many things. Okay, so okay, deft strike. So I will spend a key point to make the weapon strike do an additional D8 of damage. And what else do I have? We might as well try it to be also the other one, like when I hit with a fist, to make it a stunning strike. So we'll try that. So he gets to make a con save DC 17 based on that.
Okay. All right. So you said what? A con save?
Yeah, con save DC 17.
He rolled an 18.
Okay, so he's
So.
not stunned.
Mm-hmm.
And
then
so my
what kind of
attacks.
damage are you doing?
Okay, so my short sword is doing 10 points
Slashing,
of magical piercing.
piercing. Okay.
And then my unarmed strike. Oh, it's just 5 points of bludgeoning, which would be magical.
Okay.
That's 1 attack, 2 attack, my 2 attacks per action. And then as a bonus action, I am using my agile parry to give myself bonus to my AC till the start of my next turn.
Excellent. Okay. You lash out with your blade and your fist. And you have fought things before that have
Oh, I forgot the additional D8. Sorry, I missed that
okay.
part.
And what type of damage is that?
It'll be the same as the
That's the weapon itself.
the weapon. Oops, that's a D4.
Okay.
I don't want to do D4. Cancel that. Where's my D8? D8. Roll. Another 2 points.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
You flash out with your blade and your fist, and you have fought enemies before that have had resistances for a variety of different reasons. This one, the very incorporeal nature of this being means that your weapon and your fist pass through him. However, it does seem like it does damage. It's just not as much as you might hope from a corporeal enemy. You can kind of see almost like the light or the ectoplasm or whatever that he's made of kind of gets shredded where you have cut. But like where your fist lands, there's almost like a ripple that like goes through him, and it seems to absorb part of the damage that you were hoping that you might have done. And he looks down at you. How dare you strike the king? I will
You're
have
not
your
my
head.
king. You can try.
All right. It is King Valdor's turn. He is going to indeed try. Ari, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Sweet. Oh, it was so close. 13, except that I have this ability that, where is it called? Features and traits, let's go there. I am proficient with saving throws. If I make a saving throw and fail, I can spend a key point to re-roll it to take the second result. So I rolled a 13.
It is a failure.
Okay, I will do a key point to do it again.
All right.
How about a 24?
24 is a lot better.
Yeah.
And will pass.
Cool.
He passes through you, and you feel for a moment as if he's not going to come out the other side. And then he does. He turns around at you and says, "Oh, I would very much like to see how magnificent it is to wield such power with your fists. How strange." Tord, it is your turn.
Can I close with the ghost? Can I get to him?
So he is 10 feet off of the the dais, but you could probably swing at him. It's just not going to be like your best swing because you're basically going to have to be swinging overhead. Unless you can think of a way to try to get some ups going on.
Jump off my back.
What about give him some pull down?
That's also a possibility.
I'm going to cast Command.
Okay. He needs a
wisdom save DC 16.
Okay.
My command is grovel.
Okay. It is a wisdom?
Yes.
Okay. So he passed by 1 point.
Bastard.
You usher this command in his direction, and he barely even looks at you. Almost transfixed on Ari for the moment. And he just kind of like puts a hand up in your direction. You can see like his fingers like have a ring almost on every single one. And he just simply says, "No, I think not."
All right. Fine.
Suit yourself.
Uh,
Do you have anything bonus action movement?
that was a spell. I'm going. I have my sword out. I'm going to stand by the entity, but also my companions, so they have a +3 to all saving throws while they're within 10 feet of me.
All right.
That'll
Not a
have my
bad
turn.
idea. He is going to use a legendary action. I need, speaking of saving throws, all of you to please roll a wisdom save. $28. My God. 15.
I would have
17.
a dirty 20 with a +3.
Dirty 20. Okay. As he rebukes towards command, he then turns and screams at the top of his lungs almost like a barbarian would, like a warlord about to leave his tent for the front lines. But because of his otherworldly nature, this rattles your bones, causes your brain inside your skull to slam against its own cage. Dane and Ari, both of you manage to resist this urge that kind of like wells up within you. But unfortunately, both Tord and Sir John are scared. Although, Tord, you might, because you're a paladin, you might actually be immune to fear. I believe that's something that they get. You are?
I am
Okay.
immune to fear. Hold
So
on,
though you-
though. I think
Oh.
Sir John isn't by me, though.
Mm-mm.
Or is he within 10 feet of me? Since
He
we were,
isn't
like,
because you
strafing.
closed.
I
Yeah.
gotcha.
And I was going to say, I have a class ability that lets me reroll a saving throw I fail, so I'm just going to do that.
So that would be a good idea. Yep.
Yeah. Specifically, I'm indomitable.
Right. Remember, fighter gets that.
But the reroll was not any better. It was so if I don't get that +3 from Tord, then I'm a 12.
Okay. So, you feel that sensation start to well up in you, Tord, but your training, the fact that you have sworn this oath allows you to basically just ignore it, and push it away. Sir John, this takes root in your mind, in your body. You're almost reminded of maybe, I don't know, something about your father in him, and it causes you to feel the need to flee.
Yeah. I think part of it, I think the lie it tells me is like, you're an idiot for picking this fight, you know? That's kind of what forces me to a standstill. And then thinking about the ways that this guy is maybe similar to my own dad and that sort of thing, I think that's what gets me to actually like turn and run.
Okay. Toward, it is your turn.
Wait, no, it's not my turn. I just went. I'll go again, but it's Dane's turn.
What I did. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I'm sorry. He just took a legendary action. Dane, it is your turn. You're muted.
Well, I didn't say anything incredible, so don't worry about it. I'd like to move into the room. I'd like to Misty Step to him, and then I'd like to attack him with my sword.
Do you want to Misty Step into the middle of the air next to him?
Yeah, that's fine. That's completely fine.
Okay.
I have a 45 base movement now, and then I can Misty Step 30 feet. So
You can
I
absolutely,
should.
close with him. You
All
have
right.
the distance to do so. You just might, after you Misty Step and attack him, you're gonna fall.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and make my trajectory so I only go 10 feet to the pedestal. But
Gotcha.
you know,
You got
we'll
the movement
see.
to do it.
I ain't mathing. That's his son. All right. Let's see here. That would be a 23 to hit him.
We'll hit him.
All right. And as I hit him, I'm going to use Eldritch Smite. I'm going to use an 8th level spell slot to do it. So I'm going to do my weapon damage plus 98 radiant damage to him. So
Fuck. Okay.
and he will be knocked prone because he's smaller than huge.
He is immune to being prone.
Oh, okay. Well, that's unfortunate for.
It is indeed.
Let's see here.
Ghosts be ghosting.
Yeah, ghosts do be ghosting.
I think that's how the kids say it.
All right, so that's 58 points of damage there.
The additional damage is of what type?
So the 58 points is radiant damage,
Okay.
and then
That's all
he's
radiant. And then, so that's okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, and then he's gonna get 8 points of the Sword of Vykaril damage.
Okay. It is magical, right?
It is.
Yeah.
I hope so, as I just have a lump of steel on my arm.
8 points of that. Okay. Okay. You strike as you kind of like appear next to him, lunging out with this sword as an extension, a literal extension of your arm. And it cuts through him. The blade itself passing through him, and again, kind of like tearing at the the edges of the energy that he seems to be comprised of. But the radiant damage that you managed to use this sword as a conduit for, that seems to cause extreme damage, extreme havoc on his form, as the edges of that almost like fizzle into almost like a mist or a smoke, and he kind of recoils from this.
You are nothing compared to your son.
My son would not exist if it were not for me. I carved him every bit as I made these statues around me. Okay. He's going to use his last point of his legendary actions for the round to try to strike at you, Dane, before you fall away from him. He reaches out a hand. What is your AC?
2 more than what he rolls. No, my AC is awful. It's a 16.
Oh, well, he rolled a 20. So he critically hits you. Okay. Let's see here. Let's. Okay. Oh my god.
None of us have silvery barbs, damn it. It's the best spell.
Okay. You take 64 points of necrotic damage. As his passes through your body, you feel your heart stop for a moment as it comes into contact with that tissue. And it begins beating again after a moment or two. But you feel like a shiver run down your spine.
Okay. Oh,
Would that have been a magical effect?
Would that have been a magical effect?
I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Was that have been a damage from a spell?
No, it is not from a spell.
Alright, well, you're fucked.
Sorry. All right. I'd like to use my reaction and Warcaster to respond with a spell.
Okay.
And I am going to sorry, my brain's not functioning at all.
You did just take a fuck ton of damage. So.
I did just take a lot of damage. Jesus Christ, I know some of my attacks. All right, I'm gonna guiding bolt him.
Okay.
It'll be a 24 to hit him.
We'll absolutely make contact with him.
Sweet. And then do 7, 8. Okay, cool. And that's gonna be 38 more points of radiant damage.
38 radiant is okay.
And I imagine as this is happening, like the flecks from Dane's flesh are starting to again push out from him, from his rusted skin. But I think they have this almost, well, radiant hue to them as they come off of his flesh. They're like sizzling and look like little flecks floating in the light. There's just something about being kind of in the birthplace of such a fantastical fairy tale hero as Mathuran Gabrain that is, pushing out all this radiant damage.
Absolutely. And you fire this bolt back in his direction, and it punctures a hole like straight through his abdomen. Like you can see the ceiling behind him clearer than you can through the other parts of his body. And again, all the edges of this hole are kind of like torn, tattered wisps of energy. But because you had kind of like had to turn around and like fling this spell in his direction, you've kind of changed your ability to land softly on this dais. And as you turn, you land and you hit your shoulder hard against like the base step of the throne. You're going to take 6 points of bludgeoning.
You mean radiant bludgeoning, right? I think I have resistance to.
It's close.
Okay.
It's close.
Almost the same thing.
And you are prone currently.
I also cough out a lot of blood because I just took like 85% of my hit points in one go.
Yeah. And that wasn't necrotic damage. I don't know if I stated that or not.
You did. You
okay,
did.
Okay.
How does necrotic damage look on Dane anymore?
No,
we don't know.
Perfectly fine. Yeah. I mean, he's probably got internal organs that are coming apart.
I know what that's like.
Hashtag too soon.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'll like do that of the blood, like and whimper because that hurt a lot.
Okay. Sir John.
So I'm a scaredy boy. And
Yes.
what does it mean? I assume I have no choice but to flee directly away from this guy. Is there an additional opportunity to save?
At the end of your turn.
Okay, got it. And so is it like do I take a run action away in that case?
I think it might be a dash. I think.
Which is just double movement, right?
Yeah. It takes your action to move a second time. So
Okay,
like whatever your
got
base
it.
speed
Yeah.
is, it would be twice that.
Cool. So I think you said earlier that Ari covered like 40 feet to get from the door to the dais.
Mhm.
And I can move 60 feet. So I'm going to run to the door and then I'm going to keep running.
Okay. Yeah, Sir John leaves the throne room, and you can hear his armored, greaves and pauldrons like rattling as he continues running past that. Starts to fade a little with distance. Okay. Sir John's left the chat. So now you can repeat your wisdom saving throw at the end of your turn.
Okay. I'm going to use inspiration to roll with advantage this time, if I can do that.
Certainly.
Would love to pass this. And that's a natural 20.
Sounds like your wish is granted, sir.
Yeah. So I think I get out of the door and I just keep running, and then eventually I kind of like slow, and I'm really buzzed out. My eyes are all goggled and everything. And I look down at the sword in my hand, and there's an etching on the blade, and amid the design are the house words of my family, which is revere the gods, love women, and know thy enemy. And I think about this, and like I say to myself, he's the father of the king. He's the father of the king. And I just say that over and over until I can kind of calm myself down and realize that, like, even if this thing is a terrible spirit, once upon a time it was a man. And our purpose here is to lay this thing low.
Excellent. Okay. Sir John, you managed to steel your nerves, and you stop running and are able to kind of turn around and repurpose yourself. We're back around in initiative to the top of the round with Ari.
I mean, she spares a glance for Dane, who's fallen, but there's this creature in front of us, and so she goes, and we'll try to do it again. We will leap to hit him with both sword and fist, potentially followed by 2 more quick hits with the same fist. We'll see what happens.
This time, kind of maybe leaping off the dais.
Yeah, anything that we can jump from.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a nat 20.
Okay. With your sword or with your fist?
With the sword.
Okay.
So sorry.
You wanted to know how
do we do? Yeah.
Okay. So it is all of your dice maxed plus all of your modifiers. And then you re-roll your dice and you add your modifiers a second time.
Okay. And if I am adding the key, like using that key point to add the death strike, so I get additional D8, is that included as do the max and then?
Yes, it is.
And then rolled? Okay. Okay, so then max is 20 points of magical piercing. And then we're talking 6 plus 7, so another 13. So 20 plus 13, so 33 magical piercing damage from the short sword.
Okay, so the secondary part was 13. Okay, from the sword still. Got it.
And then the unarmed strike is, well, that's a 1. So we kind of miss with that. But I will use a bonus action to do my flurry of blows so that I can, maybe as I'm coming back down, like I miss with the hand, but then as I'm kind of turning and falling to the ground, I can catch him with my feet twice as I kick him.
Okay.
Okay, so the first is a 22, and
Yep.
the second is a 19.
Both hit.
Okay. So an additional 6, a magical bludgeoning, and 11 magical bludgeoning.
You said 6 and 11?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And yes, Steve, you had 10 extra damage from the 2 attacks that you did from radiant bonuses. Okay. He is definitely looking like there are pieces of him that are coming free. He's got, again, these kind of tattered edges of wounds all over his body. However, he's not mortal. He's not corporeal. He's not affected by these kinds of grievous wounds the way that a living being would be. And he fights on. It is...
Can
Oh,
I
go ahead.
make him make a con saving throw? I want to spend the key point to try and make that hit with the sword a stunning strike again.
Okay.
DC 17.
What kind of saving throw again? Con?
Constitution, yeah.
Okay. 17? I don't think he made that one. What is his bonus? Is it a 17?
Yep.
He missed it by 1 point.
Whee! Okay, so he is stunned until the end of my next turn.
Okay, let me check his immunities real quick. Okay, stunned is not listed, so it seems like that did actually have an impact on him. So how the fuck does Ari stun this ghost?
I imagine we were talking about that ripple effect. So the fist, this is actually with the sword. So that critical, not only did it hit him and do more damage than normal, but maybe it clipped that ring such a way that it sends up vibrations through his body, disturbing whatever force is holding him together, so that he's has to spend time and energy to maybe really kind of reconstitute himself in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you almost like caused him to like start fizzling out of like apparition.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. It is his turn, and if he is stunned, that just means he cannot do anything, right?
He basically he's incapacitated. He has the incapacitated condition. He automatically fails strength and dex saving throws, and attack rolls against him have advantage.
Fantastic. Okay. And it just lasts until your next turn?
Until the end of my next turn.
The end of your next turn. Okay. So yeah, he is kind of like almost like pulsing in like a blinking of this energy that he's comprised of. And you can see almost like he rapidly changes body position, like between blinks. Like he's trying to fight this, and maybe he's able to like move somewhat, like on the ethereal, like when he's out of like the visible spectrum, and then when he comes back in, he's not able to move, and he just kind of hovers in place, doing that kind of strange jerking dance almost. Tord.
With this jerking dance, has he come any closer to the ground, or would it still be a challenge to hit him with my sword?
No, it would still be a challenge to hit him. I don't think that the levitation would necessarily be canceled by the stun. So he's still
So
just
two
kind of
questions.
like hovering in the air.
Would it be like disadvantage to attack him, or would I have to find a way to get up there?
So you would either have to like get to the dais and leap off to like try to get at him, or you could try to stand on the dais and swing at him, but you would be at a disadvantage.
Or I could do something cooler. And I'm going to Misty Step above him.
Okay. Worked for Dane.
And then yeah, that's why we're doing it. And then I am going to attack with my longsword. 22 to hit.
22?
Yes.
Yes, will absolutely hit him.
Alright, it is a magical longsword, and I am going to dump a 4th level Divine Smite.
Okay.
I know how to play this character. Where the fuck is Divine Smite? Here we go. Two D8. So I'm gonna be 68 on that because you are undead, I imagine.
Okay. Yeah.
Alright. So
Quite possible.
the original
But yes, he's
attack
definitely undead.
is 14 damage.
14 slashing.
9 slashing, 5 radiant.
9 slashing, 5 radiant. Okay.
And then for the Divine Smite.
Which is all radiant, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Okay.
It'll be 30 points of radiant damage.
Okay.
Would you allow me a second attack in
I
that
would.
same falling?
Certainly.
We're gonna do it again. 26.
It'll hit again.
Good golly gracious. That'll be 14 slashing, 8 radiant, and I'm gonna dump another Divine Smite.
Okay.
How many of those do I have? Okay, I have 2 level 4, so I'll dump another level 4. No. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. 36 radiant on the second.
Roll me an athletics check for me, please.
16.
16.
Like the lowest
Okay.
roll I've had today.
Sir Tord, please, if you would, describe to me how you end the ghost of King Valdor Gabrain, and then stick the landing.
I feel like this is like very much like, you know, Marvel fucking Avengers, where we're all beating the shit out of this thing. And then Tord, I think he jumps into this Misty Step, and it's on his way up that we see like the initial cleave through his spirit, the kind of like rage of the imbalance in nature this entity is creating. And then as he comes down, I imagine like as this entity turns, the coat that he's wearing turns slightly, and we see like this incorporeal fissure of light in his chest where perhaps he was stabbed before. And I bring my sword down through this gash in his form, and it pins him to the ground. And whether he dissipates or stays stuck there, I land kind of like, sword into the ground. And
You land with your sword through him. You pull the blade free, and you see this specter look up at you. The foggy cataracts that was over his eyes has cleared, and the eyes of a mortal man stare at you.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Where am I?
You are being laid to rest.
I am not a man. He kind of looks down at his hands. I am dead. I am dead again. Am I not?
You are.
I see. What have I done? What have I done? And then he disappears. And we see, as the rack, focus pulls not far from where Tord stands, is a statue that is almost in the exact same position and is very much a spitting image of King Valdor Gabrain. This statue does not have a sword sticking out of it. This is where we're going to take our break. So we're going to take a 10-minute bio, refill our drinks, go to the bathroom, kiss your spouse, smoke them if you got them, etc., etc. Sit tight, listen to a little bit of Shield Sister, inspired by our very own Ariana, and we'll be right back with the second part of Session 54 of Beneath the Banner's Shadow. Hello, everyone. Welcome back from break. This is Beneath the Banner's Shadow, session 54, The Sword in the Stone. This is our Arthurian themed Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign that has been going on for the better part of a decade at this point. And yeah, we are deep in the heart of Fadum here in Vykaril. We are in Castle Angarin on the island of Abiralath, where the father of Mathuran Gabrain held his seat of power once upon a time. Currently, we are in the throne room where you have just defeated and laid to rest his ghost, as Tord has just struck down this spirit, the final blow at least, and we see this stone statue, this effigy of the man that we just saw as a spirit, not far away from where Tord now stands. What do you do? What do you say in the aftermath of this skirmish?
I run towards Dane to see how badly hurt he is.
So, I think as you're running towards Dane, like you see, like his arm is laying broken, like it's dislocated from his bad landing, like his leg's probably broken. And like there's just this sunken hollowness to him. I mean, that was a lot of necrotic damage. But I push myself up. I dig the sword blade into the ground and stand up almost like someone with a cane. And I'll roll out the dice, but Jeremy, I'd like to use my healing pool to just slowly start healing me as I walk across the floor towards Tord. So like this sort of like leaking gold light sort of chasing me and filling back into me as you see like my shoulder like snap back into place, and the more, it's hard to say youthful look to him because he's so covered in rusty bits now, but you know, he looks more like Dane and less like Death at the moment. But yeah, just have that, you know, that image of standing up and walking as everything sort of knitting. So I walk back over to Tord, and I'll lean on you for the first couple of seconds, Ari, until like, you know, like my leg heals. And then I'll eventually be able to, you know, step my weight back off of you. And like one more cough of spat of blood, I'll be okay.
I think she's reluctant too to let you go, even though when you start to pull away, she makes you walk a few more steps before she does relinquish and let you walk
And I
on
don't
your
think
own.
Dane's like super, like he's not really pulling away from you. So if you're holding on to him, like at some point it goes from like you supporting him to him just sort of like walking with, you know, his arm on you.
Perfect.
I'm so sorry. Asshole.
You can say that again.
Asshole.
Or it just gives a little big smirk, like, yeah.
I think Sir John runs back into the room at this point and sees that everybody's just like standing still in the center. And he calls out, "Is it over?"
It's over.
Is everyone all right?
Half of it's over.
Now the hard part begins. Got to clear this place of that iron.
I think almost as if he's trying to make up for missing out on the whole fight. So John is going to leap into pulling the swords out of these statues as fast as he can.
All right. It takes some doing. It's not easy work, especially in the volume that's present kind of here in the throne room. But between Sir John, probably Sir Tord as well, probably even Sir Dane. Ari, I imagine it's difficult for you to help with that part, because putting your hands on these blades is like trying to grab like a red hot frying pan.
Yeah, I think the best that she can do is hold out some sort of like cloak or something where they can lay them on, and she will carry them to that blanket she had set out before. She's not touching them, and she's gritting her teeth as she's carrying them over, but she'll do that at least.
Excellent. So it takes a while to do so, but every sword that you pull, again, there are sparks and like smoke and stone dust as you pull these rusted and pitted blades out of these stone people, and every single one of them collapses under its own weight whenever the blade is pulled free. Eventually, at some point, the only statue that remains is that of Valdor Gabrain himself, knelt at the base of his dais. And as the swords are dragged from the throne room, all of you have noticed, even in the short amount of time that has passed since you have done this, that the Linnaeoth tree has already started to bloom. The color has already started to return to its leaves. It is already almost glowing in the kind of ambient radiant light that is streaming in through this open throne room.
I think at one point when maybe we're getting close, or maybe the last bits of them are being taken away, Ari is going to just kind of approach that tree, put her head, like her forehead, on to its bark, and just kind of lowly under her breath in Elven say, "Bless you, Mother. I hope you heal."
While you're doing that, if I can as well, I had laid my hand on the tree earlier and it had instigated this. I'm going to do that again, but I'm going to expel 5 points of my lay on hands to end any conditions that exist on this tree.
And simultaneously, I'd also like to use Greater Restoration to remove 1 curse.
So I think there's this shot where Sir John is, pulling these blades almost just as fast as he can, and we see the 3 of you like approach this tree, and almost like equidistant from one another have put like your hands on the body, the trunk of this tree, and are reaching out to its pain and its suffering, toward where before you felt this deep void of depression like emerge in your chest when you laid your hand on it the first time. This time it's almost like you're staring into that void, that abyss, and you see a single grain of light, almost like seeing a candle flame from a great distance in the darkness. You can see this small pulsing bit of radiance that slowly is growing, starting to fill that void with light. You feel like a kindling of hope rising in you.
I say to the group, the witch, she spoke of the cyclical nature of our quest, and I could see how that might bring apathy. But in the same token, we do not necessarily put faith solely in ourselves, but we have faith in our quest, and what we are doing is in line with a higher power, greater fate than our own. We are not individuals. We are the sword of Vykaril reforged.
We are the hope.
I think Sir John, sort of visibly fatigued from the effort of pulling these things out as quickly as possible, kind of puts a hand on Tord's shoulder. And then he looks to Dane and says, "How do we hone the sword upon the stone from whence it sprang?"
There was
I-
there,
I-
there was no sword in the king statue, right?
There is not. Upon inspection, you can see that there is a wound where Baron described this wound in the ghost earlier. There was something about the size and shape of a blade in this statue at some point.
I think maybe as one, we all turn and look at the statue at the same time.
Is there a cavity where the heart should be, like the stone of the heart's been removed?
No, but this wound definitely would have passed through where the heart is.
All right. All snickering aside, do I just stick it in?
You might have to spit on it first.
All right, well, I will give not the spitting part, but I will slide the, blade into that wound, and as demented as the image is, those cheap knife sharpeners where you just drag the blade through it repeatedly? Talking about, I think that's kind of what Dane's doing but it sounds horrible, right? So I'm like, but I mean, that's how you would sharpen it. So I'm just repeatedly stabbing this statue over and over again.
So you push this sword into this statue, and it's almost like a zip tie. Like, as you push the blade further into the statue, it's very easy, but any pulling is very difficult.
This is a problem. I think I can probably pull it back out, but I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. That was asking for help.
It's because they Sir John lent a hand.
Sometimes the only way out is through.
Yeah, so John's going to come over and put his hands on Sir Dane's shoulders, massage him a little bit. And I think he's like, "Do you need help?"
Does it feel like it's irretractable or just that it's very difficult?
So, like, I don't know how much Dane has pulled, but as of right now, the sword has not backed out at all.
Yeah. I think there's that sort of feeling. It's weird, right? Because he's connected to the sword, so it's like, how much do I pull before my arm comes off? Right? Because at the other end of this is a 200+ pound, man, now made of stone, so 400, 500, 600 pounds. All right. Well, this is gonna make me a lot less effective.
I think
The mace of Vykaril.
The sledge.
Sir John's a fairly wise guy. I think I'm going to look back to the other two and Maybe we all need to pull together.
I'd like to keep my arm attached.
We'll pull at the wrist then.
We'll do it carefully, you know what, maybe slowly at the first, and if it's starting to hurt or something, you just scream and we'll stop. We're not going to leave you here like this.
All right, on the count of 3. 1, 2, and we pull.
All right.
Oh God, his arm!
I need somebody to roll a strength check. You can have advantage because you are having help.
I can do it.
All right.
I answered your question, Jeremy.
Perfect. Thank you.
It's a 20, a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. You all kind of like grab a hold of as far down, like, you know, maybe on the cross piece or what have you of where this sword comes off of Dane's arm. Grab a hold of whatever you can kind of hold on to, and you kind of count, and then yank. Again, sparks like erupt out of this. There is a tremendous sound as this sword zing comes out of this stone. The stone explodes apart, and the sword that comes out of this stone looks entirely different. The rust is gone. It shines with the brilliance of a midday sun. What does that mean for Dane's arm, Steve?
So I think everybody's pulling so hard that we kind of do the ass over tea kettle. Right? We just all like pile to the ground. And there's that moment of not wanting to look because I'm not positive how much my arm is still there. And then when I do look and I see the blade looks very different, and yeah, I get off Ari because she's grumbling already. But I will I think as Dane starts to stand up, again putting the sword blade down, using it to stand up, I think first thing is that it goes into the stone a lot easier here. Like whereas earlier he could kind of lean on it, it kind of a little bit. And when he leans on that, we see the rusty skin of Dane's arm start to flake off again. But this time it doesn't float. It just starts falling like dust to the ground. And that goes, you know, we can see it sort of travel up his arm to his neck where the rust shows there. And then there's a moment where there's this almost audible, like sort of sound as all of the rust is just removed from Dane, and his flesh looks mostly normal again. But I think that polished glow radiates all the way up into his shoulder socket. And so that radiant energy he's been channeling is now sort of has this glowing, not overly bright, like I'm not walking around like a flashlight, but you know, that sort of like moonlit sort of glow to it. That is way better than rust in some ways.
The edge of your blade, Dane, is now immaculately sharp. Like it literally could split hairs with how sharp its edge is at the moment. You hear a voice kind of break the reverent silence. It has been done. When you turn to look, standing in the open doorway is the woman that you met in the hut. Hands still reaching forward out of this cloak, robes that she wears.
We said it would be, and so it has.
I see. So you keep your word. This is good. This is very good.
In a
Maybe.
man of my line of work, a word is everything.
Perhaps this rot is not as far spread as I had feared. Maybe, if there are some who can hold to the old ways, maybe there is hope yet. And the tree. Oh, my tree. She kind of like looks past all of you towards where the tree is. And she starts to cross the room towards it. And as she does so, she starts kind of very slowly shuffling the way that she has moved since you've seen her. And as she does so, her step starts to quicken and her walk seems to become less labored. And before your very eyes, she changes into a beautiful young elven woman. And she has vines that are kind of wrapped around her, again, almost wreath-like. And the cane that she has been using to walk has extended into a staff that looks like it is made out of antlers and moonlight. She makes her way across the floor to where she can put her hand on the tree, and she puts her forehead to the tree as well. And you can see tears freely streaming down her face. She remains there for a long moment before she finally turns around to look at all of you again. And she says, "Please forgive me. I was mistaken. I could not see that this was a possibility. It was too far removed from me. I had lost the ability to see that there was still good in some of you.
We certainly make it easy to forget.
Thank you for reminding me."
It's kind of our purpose. It's the faith you were talking about with Dane earlier. What we're here to do.
So you follow the teachings of my son, then the same things that he believed.
I'm starting to think that it wasn't just your son who thought these things, but perhaps it's just the way things are, or at least meant to be. He was just wise enough to say it when everyone else just forgets.
He had the benefit of being born to two worlds, raised to respect them both equally. I think many falter because they are not given that same opportunity, or they refuse it. Our
Well, most
differences.
of us are also from two worlds.
I see. It is this difference, this uniqueness, that gives your group strength. Where one of you is not strong, another can support them. This is why you have succeeded, where others have not. I cannot thank you enough for unshackling my friend. She indicates the tree behind her. Too long have we been separated. I wish to present you with a gift. If you will be so kind as to take it.
Torg nods.
She extends her hand towards you, and in it you can see a pair of bracelets that appear to be made entirely out of like birch bark, like birch trunk. I give these freely and ask nothing in return. I know that my kind deals in contracts, in exchange. These will serve as a partial payment for the great debt that I owe you.
I will take them.
Okay. Yeah, you now have this pair of wooden bracelets.
Would it would it be super rude to ask what's special about them?
No, I would not consider that rude at all. As a matter of fact, I think that would be very wise. These are birchwood bracelets. And in not game mechanics, she tells you, this pair of wooden bracelets appears to be fashioned from rings of birch bark. Though there does not seem to be anything extraordinary about them, every time you pick them up, you can hear the rustling of leaves in the wind and feel the warmth of an afternoon sun upon your skin. There are 2 of these bracelets, and they both require attunement. A wearer of one of the bracelets who is attuned to it is treated as if under the effects of a permanent barkskin spell. In addition, if both bracelets are worn, either wearer may use the Tree Stride spell with the other bracelet as its target destination. So, Barkskin sets your armor class to a 16. Then you can have your dexterity modifier on top of that, or a shield on top of that if you wish. Tree Stride
Seems like a good Bane item.
lets you teleport within 500 feet, essentially.
You like walk into a tree, right?
Typically, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you walk into one tree and come out another tree of the same type. But here, the trees are replaced with the bracelets.
Oh, nice.
It's probably got that like or Appalachian horror where you're like the people behind the tree, or you just like appear out from behind somebody.
See, I knew we'd end up in Elsewhere at some point tonight.
It was always there.
It just wasn't me who did it. Okay.
Jeremy, I'd like to do one thing real quick.
Please, absolutely.
So in the past, there has been times where Camagel, et cetera, has been able to sort of almost reach out through Dane. And Camagel spent a lot of time with Mathuran. And so I imagine it has a lot of his memories of growing up and the cool things that he did and like these heroic deeds. I would like to once again hug this witch, and in that moment let Camagel take over to let her experience what her son's life was like since she was trapped here.
Fantastic. Yeah. This woman will sit with Dane, Virtstrisne, and will talk to him for as long as the group seems comfortable with it. She laughs and cries, and imagine probably holds Dane's good hand for a long portion of it. Very much seems to almost treat Dane during this exchange as if he were Mathuran. When the conversation is finished, you are able to part ways and eventually make your way back to the shores of Ibiralath, where you will eventually be able to sync back up with Firne, get back onto the boat, and row your way back to the shore of Vykaril, having completed the next part of your prophetic quest.
Bullet point 3 or something.
Ding. Fantastic. Well done, y'all. Yep, that was honed upon the stone from whence sword sprang. That was the 4th bullet point of 6. Next on the list is hardened in the fire of a dragon.
Right. So I just want to let everybody know, Jeremy was like, hey, what do you think about like the rust going away? And I was like, let's do it. And then I'm gonna send him another message. I was like, hey, anytime you want to get this off my arm, we can do that too. Because I also just remembered the dragon's breath. It was like, this would be a really good time for this not to be attached to me anymore.
I don't want this on here.
There's no way a dragon hits harder than a church, though, right?
It's funny you should say that.
Catholic dragon.
This dragon actually just breathes churches at you.
It actually, its breath of is guilt.
It's a Catholic dragon.
It's just guilt. It just makes you feel bad.
Damn.
So, I don't know if any of you caught it, but the entities that you met throughout the brambled forest represented the 5 stages of grief. So you met somebody who was angry. You met somebody who was in denial. You met somebody who was at the stage of bargaining. You met someone who was at the stage of depression, and then with the killing of Valdor's ghost, you met acceptance.
Cool.
Yeah, that shit makes me happy. So,
yeah.
That went really well, y'all. I'm very, very happy with that little chapter of the story. So, thank you very much. It's always exciting to finally get to another bullet point. All of you, please level your characters before next time we play. You'll be 16 whenever we roll back in, so that's also very exciting. Yeah. What a rad story, y'all. I'm going to pass things over to my players so they can once again kind of tell you what they might have going on, and then we're going to call it an evening. So we're going to start in reverse order with Steve.
I have to speak in reverse. Um, dude, I love you guys so much. Like, even without the game, just being able to hang out is awesome. But having the game makes it that much better. Uh, yeah. Other than that, I don't have anything going on like anyone can watch. I have picked up twice a month teaching a bunch of 10 to 14-year-olds how to play D&D because my dad did it for me, so I figured why not do it for some neighborhood kids. And that is exactly what you think. It's herding cats, but it's a lot of fun too. So, as always, guys, love you again. And Jeremy, thanks so much for an awesome game, man. Like what are we gonna do in the next 4 years when we finish up these couple of bullet points?
We're
And
gonna start a new one.
I mean, kind of have to, right? Gotta get the gang back together again or something. But we'll figure it out. But love you guys.
Yeah, man, I have no idea what I'm gonna do with the extra time that I'm gonna have. Yeah, this is one of 4 campaigns that I'm currently running. I have told myself I cannot start another campaign until I bring 2 of them to rest. So,
Who do I have to kill?
I don't think that this is going to be the first one of the 2 that finishes, strangely enough. It's just a hunch, but but I'm here for it, man. I love this game. I love all of you. I'm very, very, very happy and proud of what we've achieved in this story so far, and I cannot wait for the culmination of it. Because in my opinion, stories are only as good as the way they end. So I will be very, very thrilled to put this decade-long campaign to bed at some point. So, speaking of thrilled to put to bed, next up is Eli.
Thrilled to go to bed, more like it. Yeah, this is a blast. So John's got some major penance for missing that fight, but that's okay. It was really rad, and like now he gets to geek out about being the knight who raised the sword of Vykaril, and that's pretty cool. So yeah, really great to be here.
Absolutely, man. Always a pleasure. I'm very, very happy that it worked out in your schedule to be able to join us. I know being a parent is busy, busy, busy work, and is exhausting at times, especially when they're so young. So glad that you were able to bring your A game. As always, you always bring your A game. But
Me too. Thank you.
dude, absolutely. Good to see your face again. All right, speaking of good to see their face again, next up is Karen.
This was so amazing. I'm so glad we got to play. I've missed this game. It's been far too long since we got to get together and play. But even saying that, like it has been so long, but all of us just kind of fell into our characters again, like the little warm blankets that they are, I guess. I love this campaign so much. This was amazing. I cannot wait for the next session. I play D&D tomorrow over at Mini Terrain Domain. You should come over there and watch. Baron will be there too. Anyway, pass it on. Bye.
Hell yeah. Jake runs great games over on MTD and is a really good friend to boot. So you can also catch me over there on Thursdays, most of the time. So yeah, go check them out. Show them some love. Okay, last but certainly not least, speaking of showing some love, Baron.
Hey, I'm Baron. I've been playing this campaign for like 7, 8 years to fight a dragon. We were told to create a list of things we wanted to see in this campaign, and the first thing I wrote down is I wanted to fight a dragon in an Arthurian myth. God damn it. It's taken some doing, but to be fair, you gotta be a high level to fight a good dragon fight, so it'll be worth it. That being said, I can only echo, love you guys. really happy to be back. Let's hopefully get some momentum under us for 26 so we can fucking do this, motherfucker. Karen said it. You can find me on MTD tomorrow and reoccurring Mondays for our Sandpoint campaign. You'll also find me here Fridays in April and May, alternating Fridays in April and May, for a Domain of Dread Falcavnia short series with some people that are friends of the channel, so that'll be cool. There was other things that I wanted to say that I don't remember, so we're just gonna cap it at that. I had a good time. Thanks for having me.
Always, my friend, always. Yeah, I am very much looking forward to that Falcavnia game. I've got a character concept that I'm really excited to dive into, see how that plays out. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, it's going to be my first like true gothic horror game to play in as a player, except for the guest appearance that I did on a Curse of Strahd game for M? Question mark. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to kind of exploring that a bit. So gothic horror is very much like a in my veins kind of thing. So I love it. Yeah, so as far as what else is going on here on the channel, this Wednesday should be the next session of Evermore, one of the other long-running campaigns here on the channel. And we are also in the midst of our Elsewhere trilogy. That is obviously not going to stop at a trilogy. Hopefully there will be one more session, but there might be two. It won't be this coming Friday, but it will be the Friday after that for the fourth session. That's been a lot of fun. It takes place in Baron's homebrew world of Elsewhere, which is really badass. But yeah, it's called Nowhere to Hide. It's been a lot of fun so far. So that's kind of what we got going on here on the channel. Before I let everybody go, remember that kindness is a free action. It costs you absolutely nothing to be kind to people, and for fuck's sake, like, it's the least you can do is be kind to people. And we need that. We need kindness. So it costs you nothing. Go out, spread the love. Unless they're Nazis, and then fuck them. Be nice, fuck ice. This is kind of the new mantra around here. So, thank you for everybody who tuned in this evening. I refuse to believe that over 300 people actually tuned in this evening, but if you did, holy fuck, where the hell did you come from? And thank you. Stick around. But it's cool. It's all cool. For anybody who did actually watch this evening, whether you watched live or at some point in the future, I am ecstatic that people watch this game, that watch any of my games, and that they find some kind of enjoyment or maybe a little bit of education about a system or how to run things, or I don't know, an idea for a monster. Whatever you get out of this, it makes me happy. So thank you for being here. Do all the stuff that the algorithm likes. Hit the like button, subscribe, comment, share the link around. Do all the things. Because that's the kind of world that we live in now. But I think that's it. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. So until next time, may your dice roll high and your snacks always be within reach.
Птица.